Namaste, Jai Bharat. Everyone is familiar with the phenomenon of war. And if you look at time, in most period of time, there used to be war. And there are, and there shall be, wars for various reasons. If you look at the war concept, it's interesting, it should be interesting to analyze and look at. If you look at the war concept, we find that people go for war for various reasons, much more than one reason. Most often, the war comes from complex situations, complex reasons. If you trace back the history of war in the written history, the ancient history, there's great wars, epics were written, Greece, but in the available written recorded history, if you try to get back to the known history of the world, one may talk about Alexander's invasion to Bharat. The reason for Alexander to come to East is different from the reason for Qasim in 7th or 8th century AD to come to Bharat to attack. I am talking about my nation. And the reason for the Turks to come is different, and the reason for someone else to come is different. So there are multiple reasons and different reasons. One reason may have nothing to do with the other, that people come attack. We call them as invaders. Mostly or fundamentally, we find people going for aggression for wealth. But some others wealth along with some kind of zealous planning that will come later. If you take the Alexander's invasion to Bharat, that was not primarily for wealth, that was for nothing else, that was for his ambition of conquering the world. So, those days Bharat was the hub of happenings in the world, in all sense of the term. So he set out to East to conquer Bharat, to become the world ruler. And the subsequent incidents which happened after Alexander's invasion is known to everyone. He comes, he tries to conquer, he conquers, he fails to conquer, and later he understands. Of course, after all, Alexander, son of Philip of Macedonia, is a student of Aristotle. Some legacy, some influence of his teacher must have been there. Aristotle, a philosopher par excellence, is a statesman otherwise. Most of the Greek philosophers were more interested in statecraft. At the same time, they were equally interested or more interested in metaphysics, ethics, etc., epistemology, etc. They were, but then mostly it was statecraft, statesmanship, including Aristotle. Pythagoras too. Pythagoras is otherwise known as a mathematician, not as a statesman. And Alexander's ambition was this. So he was not ruthless in that sense of the term. He had definite objective of winning the world. But then in time, as he grows up, matures through war, matures through war, he realizes the futility in all those kind of things. That's why I said, after all, a student of Aristotle, at some point in life he can or is liable to realize the emptiness of quite a few things, and he returns. He returns and could not reach back. En route, he passes away. Then this Qasim man from Arab, he comes primarily for another reason. He believes that Islam is the only thing in the world. And I said willfully thing, not just religion, not just faith system, everything. Because he is only aware of that. And he contrasts his kind of awareness with the kind of awareness around him at the same time is not very intellectually capable to understand something other than what's available to him. That zeal is not there in him. In case of Alexander, the thing was different. In case of Qasim, he is having limited. He was younger too in age. His perspective is very limited. And he took it as his mission to get people converted into Islam. Well, that was his primary mission. And then, any atrocities are permitted upon kafirs. Now, that's a very serious situation when an invader is convinced that he can do anything with the kafirs, which is all justified. And anything literally means anything. That's the invasion of Qasim. These are the two things I spoke. Now today look at the Iran-US war. For Israel, its existence, for US what it is, you have to know. You can know by yourselves. Socrates said, know the Zeation in Greek, which means know thyself. Know thyself, don't mistake know thyself for knowing thyself. Knowing thyself is entirely different from know thyself. That's find out for yourselves. Know for yourself shall be the implications from know thyself in case of Socrates context. But when you come to Shankara Vedanta philosophy, know yourselves means know what you really are. That has a presupposition that you do not know what your real nature is. Knowing the true nature of the you inside you, which is not available to you at once, instantly. You have to work towards understanding. So these are two different to know thyself. So I would say that try to know why, who does what. Everyone is capable. If you spend time, understanding is possible. But spend time to think. What makes US fight? What makes Israel fight? And after all, what makes Iran fight back? Actually, Iran is fighting back or fighting, I don't know. You may say that they were attacked first, all right. But who caused the attack in the sense? It's your conduct and it's your activities. It's hardly the case that no one simply attacks a person. It's hardly the case. There could be some or the other reasons in this party's or that party's interest. Any wars are no option for anything. That I would like to conclude in this manner. I would like to say that wars are no solutions to many things, though it does solve quite a few things. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.